I joined a community that welcomed me where I was at 244 pounds. I was walking with a cane, and I did not know where to go from here. So they took me under their wings and showed me a path of exercise that I enjoyed because they had classes, they showed me what to do. I didn't have to think about it, and it worked.
More than 73% of Americans have overweight or obesity, while more than 12% have food insecurity. America is getting heavier, sicker, and more isolated from each other every day. Our motto, Move, Eat, Give, reflects our belief that virtually every problem in America could be fixed if we took better care of ourselves and took better care of each other. Welcome to Interrupt Hunger's Move, Eat, Give podcast, where we talk with experts in exercise as medicine, food as medicine, and food insecurity. And understanding that knowledge isn't always enough to help you lose weight. Every other episode showcases someone who's lost at least 10% body weight to share exactly how they did it. Interrupt Hunger is a 501c3 nonprofit which helps you lose weight while feeding the hungry. Bring our free 12-week weight loss challenge and donate your weight program to the places you live, work, and pray. We fund our mission with sales from our Move, Eat, Give bracelets and clothing, so please visit us at interrupthunger.org to show your support. 50 meals are donated for every item sold to the nation's largest hunger relief network. So you get to look good while feeling good. Now on to today's episode. Brenda, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay, I am 62 years old. I retired from 28 years as a registered nurse in a hospital setting. I retired 2 years ago, and we relocated from California to Nevada to start my retirement. My husband was already retired, and my two children live out of state, and he has three children that also live out of state. But we have family here, and so we moved to be closer to family here in Nevada.
What kind of nurse were you?
Well, I started out as an emergency room nurse, and I did that for 7 years. And then most of my career, 17 years, was a surgical nurse. And then I transposed that into a pre-op and post-op nurse for a few years before I retired.
Oh, very neat. I bet that was exciting.
Yes, I have enjoyed my career quite a bit. It was always interesting, never boring, ever.
I can't imagine. How fun. I bet. All right, very good. So with that, just whatever you're comfortable sharing, if you don't mind, just sharing your journey with us.
Sure, I have been overweight to various degrees since I was an adolescent. So I have struggled with my weight, struggling with exercise and eating correctly, and just always a struggle with that, whatever I was doing. And as I became a nurse, it's a stressful job. There's lots of stressful jobs out there, but certainly nursing is stressful mentally, physically, and I put myself on the back burner. I had children to raise and a family to support, and I just let everything get out of hand. I forgot my health. And in my 50s, I found myself pretty poor health, quite overweight, struggling to work every day with chronic knee problems and chronic back problems. And I could tell my health was going downhill. I was taking blood pressure medications in my mid 50s. I was watching my blood glucose kind of creep towards pre-diabetes and at a loss. How am I going to do this? I do not know. And then I got the diagnosis that I had kidney cancer. They found a tumor on my left kidney. I was 57, and it's like, okay, I need to start this fight now. Everything else gets put on hold, and I had surgery, and it was, according to my doctor, it was cured when my kidney came out. I had no other problems. I didn't need chemotherapy. So he said, "You're cured and we'll continue to watch you, but everything looks good." I couldn't believe it. So, what do I do now? I was given this incredible gift that I did not think I even deserved. And I need to do something with this. And I wasn't sure how to do this. I need to make my life um, continue in a healthy way and earn this time I've been given. So I kind of started searching. I kept an open mind. I don't know how to do this. Nothing has worked in the past. Why is it going to work now? I don't know, but I'm just going to have an open mind. And I, went to yoga and I went to the regular gyms and started riding my bike, and I'd do it for a little while and I'd stop and just keep struggling. And then one day I was down in an area of town where, um, well, it's Big Bear Lake, California. So they have a little village there, and they had a new business, and it's a small town. So any new business is kind of an interesting thing. We got to go check it out. And it was a CrossFit gym. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go look because it's been advertised as owned by a woman, and I like to support woman owned businesses. So I'm going to go take a look. So I walked in there, and the owner coach was standing there, and I looked around, and it had looked very different from any gym I had ever seen. It didn't have the regular equipment in there, and it kind of looked intimidating. And I asked her, I said, "Is this place some place that I could come to?" And she said, "Oh, absolutely. Please come and join us." And so I joined a community that welcomed me where I was at 244 pounds. I was walking with a cane, and I did not know where to go from here. So they took me under their wings and showed me a path of exercise that I enjoyed because they had classes, they showed me what to do, I didn't have to think about it, and it worked for a time. I was enjoying it, but I thought, you know what? If I really want to take advantage of everything that's being offered, I need to work on my nutrition. So after 9 months, I changed up my nutrition. I started to eat more healthy, take away the fast food, and all of the things that at work were laid out for me free as a nurse in the lounge, which is a common issue with nursing. And I just had to forge on from there, and it got easier. It got, as I saw success, it got better for me to be able to continue on the path that I had chosen, eating healthy and losing the weight. But I really wasn't doing any of this to lose weight. It was to get healthy. I wanted to get off my blood pressure medications. I wanted to no longer have pain, and I didn't want to use that cane anymore. So that was the motivation.
Yeah, that's a lot. Wow, I wanted to interrupt you so many times, different things you said. Oh, no, 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 you're fine. You're fine. I had to force myself not to because it's a powerful story. So many guys. So I think first of all, there's just countless people out there. I mean, everybody knows 3/4 of Americans are overweight or have obesity, and I mean everybody struggles with this, but everybody thinks it's their own fault. It's you said I didn't deserve this, and your second chance, and that in and of itself is, I think, just such a powerful thing. We connected. I don't even remember how long ago on social media we connected. It's been a little bit now.
Yes, maybe over 2 years ago,
Yeah,
maybe three.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, we first connected, for folks listening, through Interact Hunger. I saw some of the posts. Brenda's very active on Instagram. I think to just show others what's possible, and I love your post. I love what you do. She's y'all. She's we'll let if you're comfortable at the end, you can share how folks can follow you. But she's at CrossFit. It seems like every single day, throwing around some weight and doing box steps, and I mean it's just incredible. So a couple things. I mean, you say you're 62. I think that is against the stereotypical person they think of when they hear the word CrossFit. Then also, you're a cancer survivor. And that is again, for so long, cancer survivors were told to rest and take it
Yes.
easy, and we know that could be further from the truth now. So the other thing you talked about the welcoming community at CrossFit. I've done CrossFit for
Absolutely.
for a little bit, and I saw the same thing. And I love telling people the class time that I was in. I was literally the youngest person in there, and I'm almost 52. There was a 70 something year old lady in there, and I mean, just she was so inspiring. I've been told that community is a powerful tool to change your behavior. Do you mind sharing a little bit more about the CrossFit community? Because I think that was a really key moment in changing the direction of your life.
So I go now 5 days a week. I am a CrossFit coach. I'm employed at a uh, gym that as a coach, and I am not rare. I'm not unique. I am rare at my age to be a CrossFit coach, but not unique. We're out there, and as you said, there are people of all ages. Everybody is welcome and gets a lot of benefit out of CrossFit because um, they meet you where you are. So that helped me. The stereotypical is you have to be fit to be in CrossFit, and that is absolutely not true. But what I found when I walked into the first time, my first gym, is all of these people that are working to be healthy, they all had their stories. They all had stories different than mine most of the time, but they were all stories of struggle, struggling with their health, struggling with their physical and mental health. And they were all there to fix those problems. So no one there is the perfect athlete. So a person like me who is not an athlete, I do not think of myself as an athlete because I know, an athlete is over there professional, their whole life is that, but that's not true. I am an athlete because I strive to do exercise. That's what an athlete is. And I have consistency. So the key is consistency. I do CrossFit 5 days a week, but I try to do 2 activities a day. So I'll swim 3 times a week, and I stick bike riding in there. I stick yoga in there. I stick walking in there. So what I have learned is I have to be active, and that was not natural to me, and now it's natural to me. I do not feel right if I'm not active, and I now am a person that is active. It's part of my identity, and that's
How's
a
it feel
change.
now, being able to say that?
It's amazing. When I say it like this, it sounds, I'm still kind of amazed about it, but I shouldn't be, because everybody can be like this. I am on I started my Instagram page not because I love to see myself on video doing all of this stuff. Oh no, that was very hard for me to get through. But my mission is to show what a normal person can do, and the hard work it takes to do what I wanted to do, because it has been hard work. I had to work up to this. It's been 5 years now, but that time passes anyway. I still would have been 5 years older
Yeah.
now, and I have done something at least with this 5 years, and I'm proud of it. It's not easy for
You
me to
should be.
say, but I am. I did have an accomplishment, but I'm just living my life trying to do the best I can. And I want to be healthy. I want to be independent as I age. And I just want to show that
Oh,
anyone can do this, really. You have to find your own path. Your path is not going to be my path, but your path is there. It's out there waiting for you to find it, and you have to look
oh my
for it.
goodness,
'Cause I
that
have
is
no
that.
doubt that this can happen to
Yeah.
anybody.
I mean, just think about the alternative. If you hadn't gone down this path, I mean, you'd still be using a cane. I mean, how crazy is that compared to
Oh,
what you
it
can do
would be
now?
yeah, it would be really bad. It would be really bad. I mean, unfortunately, as a nurse, I have seen people. I have seen people that are in very bad shape, and they say to me, "I don't know how I got here," or "The golden years are not so golden," and it just breaks my heart because people do not understand our society is not good at this point, putting it out there that everybody, especially older people, but certainly everybody, can benefit from moving.
Absolutely.
That first you
Amen.
move, and then then you go on from there. But first you find
Yeah,
what
I
makes you
love that.
move.
So let me ask you, because this is not a CrossFit commercial, and they're not sponsoring this, but
No.
I owe a lot to CrossFit, because like I've got something called Osgood-Schlatters disease. When I was an adolescent, I was doing a lot taekwondo and football and all kind of stuff, and you just have some bones growing at different rates, and so I had really weak knees, and I was never able
Mm.
to squat really more than 100 pounds. And but you know what? I joined when I joined CrossFit for the first time. They gave me a couple of one-on-one sessions, and oh my gosh, the trainer just was very experienced and knew exactly how to help me, and just spent time one-on-one showing me proper form. And it wasn't that my body couldn't handle squats; it was that I wasn't doing it right. And it's amazing. I just last month, last month, I at almost 52, I did a personal record on back squats. And
Oh,
thanks. I mean, that
congratulations.
was just
Yay.
that felt so. It
It's
is,
exciting.
yeah. It felt so good. It was so exciting. So talk for just a minute. You know, your example, your story involves CrossFit, but there's so many people out there that aren't exercising right now, and they're kind of they're a little nervous, a little hesitant about doing it. So it might be CrossFit, it might be pickleball, who knows what. So talk about like what convinced you to try something new, and CrossFit's a pretty big jump from where you were. So like how yeah,
Yeah,
just a little
right.
bit. Try to, I guess, try to reassure folks that they're capable of trying something new.
So for me, it's still the eternal mystery why I walked into that CrossFit gym and it clicked with me. I don't know. It just did. And so my advice would be try a lot of different things because something will click. And you'll know it when it clicks because it's like, "Oh yeah, I would be doing this regardless because it's fun and I'm enjoying it." So that's the ticket. You have to enjoy it. And for some things, I mean, did I start out back squatting and lifting weights? I had to start low, right? I had to start simple. And maybe you maybe you want to ride your bike and you are not in a position to ride bikes yet. Well, maybe step back a little bit, start walking, and you progress to where you want to go. So you can start slow, start walking. Or if you want to swim, you go to the pool and you start walking in the pool. You just start moving, and then it will come. It will start to feel better. You'll be more comfortable with the process, and then you'll see what direction you need to go in. I would also say that that can be slow. So if you are not a patient person, another way to kind of get the process jump started a little bit is either find people that you know are doing what you want to do and get in with them and they can help you, or get a personal trainer. That takes resources, but there are trainers that can put you on the right path. So there's kind of a lot of ways to do this, but you got to start.
I love that. I love that.
And
Yeah, yeah,
it
it's kind
does.
of crazy. I did my first ultra marathon in April, and looking back, when I started, did my first sprint triathlon back in 2011. Yeah, 2011. Uh, it's incredible how far I've come, and just in casual conversation, people ask, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I had a long training run," and they asked me about it. And as soon as I say the miles I ran just as a training run, typically or quite frequently, someone will say, "Oh my gosh, I couldn't even run a mile." And I always make sure to stop them, and I got a big smile on my face so they don't feel threatened or anything. But I always say, like, no, I'm going to stop you. Maybe you can't run a mile today, but you can absolutely run a mile. You just have to start a little bit at a time. If it's only 50 yards and then 100 yards and then a quarter mile, you can absolutely get there.
That is a very important message. Like the most important, that anyone can get there, but you start where you
Yeah, that's
start,
right.
right? You don't say I can't do that. Well, maybe you can't
Yeah.
do that yet.
Can't do that today. Yeah, you got to believe in yourself and just take a leap.
Oh,
Just take a leap.
and for me, it took someone had to give me their confidence at first. I needed someone to give me that confidence, and then I built the confidence myself.
I got goosebumps, Brenda. That's such a neat thing to say. I love that. If you don't have the confidence in yourself, we all need a little help. You know,
You can
that's
borrow
it.
it.
That's so cool. That's so cool. All right, so let's see here. You touched on earlier a little bit about nutrition. So how did you? So talk to me a couple things. Like how did you? Did you knew the basics being a nurse, or how did you? Yeah, talk to me about.
But we're not trained in nursing school too much about nutrition. So I didn't know a whole lot except, sugar bad, carbs can be inflammatory. And so like I said, my goal was to be healthy. So I cut out sugar, and that it was a drastic cut. I just said, I'm not having this anymore. Anything with sugar in it, I'm not going to eat. And anything with gluten, even though I wasn't sure if I was sensitive, but gluten can be inflammatory to some people. So I didn't know if I was or not. So I was just going to stop it. So one day I just woke up and no more gluten, which is, anything with wheat in it. So that meant bread, which was big for me. I thought I am going to die without bread, but I'm going to do it for now and see how I feel. And the sugar wasn't so much for me. I thought I can do that. I'm not a big sweet tooth person. And I would say within about 3 weeks, I felt so much better. I didn't have the waking up and everything ached pain. I woke up a little more spring in my step, and it kind of surprised me. I wasn't really expecting to feel so good within such a short time, but that fuels further motivation. It's like, oh, I feel good. I can do this now for a longer period of time. And it just kind of built from there. And then it took maybe 2 months and I started to see the weight come off. And I went into intermittent fasting. So, and I have done that from then until now. I do 12 to 14 hours of fasting. So about 8 o'clock at night, I stop, probably earlier than that. 7 o'clock at night, I stop eating and I don't eat again till 7 or 9 the next day. And there's a lot of science about fasting, and but what it was important to me is it stopped me from eating after that time. Right, I just didn't eat. So no snacking after dinner. It helped curb those cravings because I was fasting. So and I just feel good doing it. So I keep doing that, and um, I have over the years went to more quality whole foods rather than processed. So I don't really worry about calories so much. I don't worry about um, fat content or anything like that. It's more important to me that it's a good quality food. So processed foods, really try hard to stay away from.
I like that. That's actually pretty much what I'm doing now. I've tried so many different things over the years, and I did low carb, high fat for a while, and absolutely loved that because my problem's always been with cravings, like late afternoon
Hmm.
or evening cravings, and I was just eating so much of these intense cravings. But I found with low carb, high
Mm.
fat, the cravings were much less. I was satisfied much more often. But then I went for an annual physical, and my cholesterol was high for like 3 years in a row, and they got this CAC score, and that had creeped up just a little bit. So my PC, my primary care guy sent me to a cardiologist, and so anyway, I had to stop that and relearn the whole balance thing. And so I was trying to do a Mediterranean kind of diet thing, but now I've really just transitioned to almost exactly what you just mentioned. Just avoid ultra processed foods as much as possible. I don't eat meat. I don't eat nearly as much red meat with a lot of fat as I used to, which I
Mm-hmm.
love steak, but I just don't eat as much. Eat a lot more chicken and pork chops or a lot of fish. And I'm trying to be intentional about like vegetables and nuts and those kind of things. But I think the easiest thing to follow is just try to avoid crap. Just don't eat processed food.
Exactly. That is, you are right. That's the easiest. You don't have to get on, you can. I mean, I know people who are successful with all the different kinds of diets and people that are unsuccessful with them. And you got to do what's easiest for you. And that's what I found is the easiest, just a high quality food without the processing. Because it's all manufactured to be hyper palatable and addictive in some respects, and just
It's
avoid
kind of
that.
crazy when you stop eating sugar or high processed carbs, like things start tasting differently and you start
Oh,
craving more healthy food, don't you?
it is amazing to me. I have never been a vegetable person. They've always been really bitter to me. I used to tell my husband, I just have the bitter gene. Vegetables are bitter to me. That was my line. But you know what? That wasn't true. It was once I got out of the processed food and my taste buds recovered from the chemical food, and my brain recovered from needing the addictive chemicals that are in that food. It's I think of it like the healed, because now vegetables are good and fruit is sweeter. I was never a big fruit person, but I like fruit now because it gives me that sweet. I think that's something that people don't really get to hear very often, that your taste buds do change and your cravings change and your body heals itself. And so I do not white knuckle my way through life not eating things that I want to eat. There's only one red light food I have that I can never eat, and that's potato chips. But that's okay. I can live with that. I did the trade off, and my health is more important. But that's the only thing. Otherwise, I do not
Yeah,
suffer. I enjoy food.
isn't
I
that
love
incredible?
food. I like to eat tasty food. Yeah, I don't have to be the crazy health nut, that eats weird food. That's not me. I like to enjoy
Yeah.
food, and I do. And all the people that I know that eat healthy, They enjoy food. They love food.
It's funny. I've also,
So you don't have to
I've
give it up.
if we're out with friends or family, I I'll indulge more because I don't want to be I don't, like you said, I don't want to be that guy that throws that becomes high
Yeah, right.
maintenance. But also, what I've noticed is if I'm going to indulge in the more of the processed food, I make a point to, like, it's got to be really really good. Like, just French fries. Like, most of them just really taste nasty now. Like, I know who's got the real, like, I don't care where you go. Like, McDonald's
Yeah.
anywhere in the world has fantastic fries. Those are still good, but a lot of the other ones, they're just not as good. Or if we're gonna have pasta, like, I never eat pasta, but if we're going to a nice, like, authentic Italian restaurant, then I'm gonna have some, like, homemade authentic pasta. So think you can't be too hard on yourself.
Right. And that's an important point. Life is for living. It's for living, and you have to make your trade-off. It's like, if I don't ever want to give up X, whatever X is,
Yeah.
don't. But maybe it will slow your journey of wherever you're trying to get. Maybe. And so you just have to be aware of that. But you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But you do have to kind of live with the consequences sometimes. Like, if I really wanted to eat potato chips, I would. But it's not
Yeah.
worth it to me. It um, takes me off my journey that I am very happy to go down. So it's
Yeah,
not worth it
yeah,
to
that
me.
makes sense. I totally hear you. So talk to me about, along this journey. You probably hit some bumps along the way, or maybe plateaued, or maybe just due to injury or burnout or something, you stopped working out for a little bit. So just talk to me a little bit about, like, how you handled setbacks and kept a positive attitude to re-engage, thinking about the long-term end goal.
So for me, my motto was no excuses. So I could not give myself any excuses to not work out at all. Um, I had a consistent plan. When I was working, I'd work 3 days and then I'd work out for 3 days. And that was that. It was going to happen. And so I have to say that the only time I have not worked out consistently is when we moved. I took 2 weeks off when we're packing the truck and coming here and unpacking the truck. Otherwise, I get some exercise in. If it's not everything, I do something. When I'm on vacation, I go somewhere and I do something, whether it's at a hotel or I try to drop into CrossFit gyms. I love going to other CrossFit
Oh, that's
gyms.
neat.
That's a different experience, different people, and I enjoy that. So I often drop in. So I do not stop exercising at all. Or if there's no gym close by, I do something. So for me, there's no excuses on that. There's always something to do. But I have hit plateaus losing weight, and I just kept forging ahead. I knew that was going to pass, and it did. I've hit two of them. One was fairly short and then fairly long, and I just kept going because I had a goal, but I didn't really have a goal. My goal was to just feel good. So I just had to keep doing what made me feel good. And if that resulted in more weight loss, yay. And eventually I've hit my maintenance. I did not hit a goal weight. Um, Probably if I wanted to work a little harder and cut out more and go the extra mile, I could have done it. But I reached a point where it was like, I feel really good right now. I've been doing this for 15 months. I'm just going to live my life and I know what to do and I've maintained. So that's where I am now. That's not to say in the future I might change my mind, but right now I'm
It's
happy.
I it sounds like, um, this has become part of who you are, healthy living, exercise, eating, that you have so many new healthy habits. And I think when people get to that point, that it's, yeah, we're all going to have obstacles, like you're arguing with your spouse or your kids, or things aren't going right at work and you just get stressed out. It's really, really hard to stay on track. I always thought, like, you know what, I'm going to have a bad day, and damn it, today's a bad day, but the good news is tomorrow morning the sun's going to rise and it's a new day, it's a new start, it's a new chance to get back on track. And that might sound cheesy, but I just knew, and I might have to have quite a few of those, new days. But eventually, if I just kept trying, as long as I didn't give up on myself, I knew that I'd be back in the habit of the healthy living. And no matter how many times I've been knocked down, it always holds true. You just gotta.
That's very true. You are speaking a fundamental truth about living a healthy lifestyle is you never give it up. Yes, you might have stress. I mean, if I have, especially when I was working, a particularly stressful week or something, what I found helpful was tracking my food. So when I was losing the weight, I tracked religiously. And then, after a year or so, it's like, I don't know if I have to do this every meal anymore. So I would do it about one week a month. But, I'd go right back to it. It's like, okay, I know it's time to start tracking again. And then I would do it until I feel like I'm back on the path. So that has helped
I
me
like the
a
fact that
lot. And I don't,
I like the fact that you do
go
it
ahead.
still, like periodically, like once a month, just to remind yourself, because you do get, if you're not tracking. And for me, like I can do it for about 4 days, and then I get lazy and I don't do it anymore. How did you, like, what did you use to track your eating?
So I used my Fitness
I like that a
Pal,
lot. Yep.
that app. I am not a technology person, so I was a little leery about using an app, but it was pretty easy for me. I was happy with it, not perfect or anything, but it was easy enough for me to use. So I go back to
Very good.
that. And once you put food in that you eat a lot. That's the other thing that I learned is I like variety in food, but it's a lot easier to lose weight if you kind of eat the same thing regularly. Um, I would have the same lunch at work. I had the same lunch at work for
Oh,
15
what
months.
was that?
But that helped me. I knew what I was going to eat. I brought it. I was fine with it. And so eating the same food helps. And then at dinner, I would have more variety when I was at home and I cooked. So that's when I got my variety. But when I needed structure at work, that's when I would eat the same
Yeah,
foods all
I
the
totally
time.
agree with that. I eat the same thing for breakfast almost every day. Um, lunches are lunches are different, but I've heard people say that I would say are very healthy. Have almost the exact same thing for lunch every single day, year after year. So what was that lunch that you were eating every day?
So for me, I would buy a salad. It was a one serving salad at the grocery store. So I could just grab it out of the refrigerator, put it in my lunchbox. It was all there, and I could eat that every
What about
day. And it had protein
what
with it.
about breakfast? What were you typically eating?
So for breakfast, I made my own smoothie. So I would put almond milk and hemp protein and some yogurt and fruit in there. So that's what I had for breakfast on my way to work. And then, actually, I didn't eat that on my way to work. I had to retract that because it was on my first break because I was intermittent fasting, right? So on my first break, I'd eat that and then I would eat my salad. And then at dinner, I would just bring what I had leftovers that I had made over the weekend. So it worked for me. I had a 12-hour shift. So a little challenging because the There's a lot of healthcare people out there working long hours, a lot of people working long hours, and it's easy to just go to the cafeteria or pick up something. And yeah, I had to buy a big lunchbox because I had to put a lot of food in there, but I wanted to bring everything. I did not want to leave
Yeah.
anything to chance that I was hungry and I would have to go down to the cafeteria because I'm sorry, it's a hospital, but it's not healthy food down there.
You got to make it easy, right?
Yes,
That sounds like the
yes.
key that you've been talking about, whether it's a habit or having the same foods or having meals prepped or whatever. The easier it is, the better you're able to stay healthy,
That's
right?
right. Yes, very much
That's
so.
neat. That's neat. Oh, snacks. Were you having snacks, or just because of the shift and how busy you were, you weren't able to?
So I tried not to have snacks. I really tried to just eat 2 or 3 meals a day and not snack. But I would snack on nuts if I really had to have something. So nuts are always, they still are my go-to snack.
Very good. I like that. So, okay, so we're gonna shift gears for just a second. So how much weight did you lose?
I lost 90 pounds.
90 pounds. That's amazing. Good for you. Good for you. So,
Nobody is more surprised than me.
that's so neat.
I did not know that that could
I'm so
happen, and it
happy for you.
happened.
And now you're in the best shape of your life for at least a very long time, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, in my 20s, I was overweight, but everybody in their 20s is strong. And so I would say from my 30s on, I'm better than I
That's
was
incredible.
then.
Oh,
Definitely.
just love hearing that. So when we first met a few years ago, I was telling you about interrupt hunger. I've been working on the idea for a while. You told me that you lost 90 pounds, and one of the neat things about interrupt hunger is we have a 12-week weight loss challenge. You can try to get healthy as a team. Or we also have, if you want to do it on your own or you've already lost weight, we have the Donate Your Weight program, which we try to, help folks celebrate their weight loss victories by asking them to donate $1 for every pound you lose to help fight hunger. And 100% of proceeds go to a local food bank. So you actually made a Donate Your Weight donation. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, yes. It's very
Very
worthy
good. It's
cause.
pretty incredible. There's 200 Feed in America food banks across the country that serve every single county in America out of these massive, massive warehouses. So each one goes anywhere from say like 4 meals per dollar they received and up to the national Feed in America, which is about 10 meals per dollar. So you donating 90 meals or excuse me, $90. I think that turned into to something. Gosh, let's see, something over 400 meals with
Wow. I
your
didn't do the math.
donation. Yeah,
That's amazing. I'm glad. I'm
yeah. So
really
that's
glad.
that's incredible. That's incredible. So thank you so much for knowing that you helped serve, that you helped feed over 400 people. How's that make you feel?
Yeah. Well, it's amazing because I want what I did to go for good because it's important for the world. I mean, there's people that are hungry, and then there are those of us who are overweight. So we just have to be in this together and support each other.
That's it.
And I
Yeah,
love
that,
that.
it doesn't get any more simple than that. It really comes down to love yourself and love your neighbor. We absolutely have to take care of each
Hmm.
other. You are absolutely right. Yeah,
Absolutely.
very good. All right. Well, cool. Well, with that, I got one more question for you. Um, someone that is where you were when you started your journey. They're not really sure what direction to go. They might need just a little bit of encouragement and a little bit of confidence. What what would you tell someone? What do you want to tell someone? Just some parting tips for the direction they need to that might be helpful for them.
What I would say to myself back then and to anyone else that wanted to start this is you can do it. I have no doubt, there is no doubt in my mind that you can do it. You just have to take the first step. And that's a scary step, but it's worth doing because what you want will come from that if you are sincere about going down and doing the hard work it takes.
Well, with that, Brenda, that's a pretty darn good place to stop. So, thank you so much. This has been really neat.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to help people and get the word out because that's my mission. Just I don't want someone in their 70s to say as they sit in their wheelchair, I don't even know how I got here. I can't enjoy my retirement. That I don't want that for anybody.
That's pretty amazing. You got a big heart, Brenda. Thank
Well,
you
thank
so
you.
much
I
for sharing
appreciate
your
it.
story. Somebody listening to this um, is going to sit there and say, you know what? If she could do it, turn her life around and get healthy, I can do it too. And you know what? Your story
Yay.
will help change somebody's life. So thank you so much for that, Brenda.
Good.